Grady, how are the preparations going in the short week? Getting ready for Tampa Bay and some of the prospects.
Yeah, prep going good, but it's going fast. Got a short week, and so we kind of got to squish a lot of preparation into just a couple days, couple hours. But it's cool, man. It's cool. It's a good challenge. And everybody in the league got to go through it at some point in the year. So it's our turn, and we're ready to do it how we got to get it done.
And y'all are familiar with the other Mike Evans, Godwin, and how's Baker Mayfield playing for? I'm just looking at his numbers.
Yeah, man, Baker having a great year, man. Starting off strong for them. He always been a super talented guy, man. He just super gritty, super athletic, and the guys they really follow him well up there, and so he's a heck of a competitor. I think that's what makes him special. Just the will to compete, the drive to try to be his best, and just to be undenied. I think is something that a trait that I definitely respect about him. But like you said, Mike Evans, Godwin, all them guys been balling up there for so long, and so we got our work cut out for us, and we excited for the challenge.
You obviously have, going into the Saints, had the common opponent of the Eagles. Going into this now game with the Bucs, had the common opponent against the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
When you're kind of going through this prep and you're on a short week, how much are you looking into this idea of okay, we saw what they did against this team that we have also faced, and how does that kind of correlate to the prep?
I don't know. I think maybe us being 4 seasons to the game now, even though it is a common opponent, you like to take looks from other games as well, for maybe some things that they did versus a certain look, or some things that we made it versus a certain look, and try to combine and mix and match to see what's going to best fit for the game plan, how we going forward. Nobody, no team defensively, offensively going to go and do the exact same thing they did the week before, but everybody got, looks and tendencies that they may like. But so it's I can see where that would kind of make sense, but you can't. It ain't enough to really hang your hat on. You know what I'm saying? And so definitely just giving it its due diligence, looking at the whole scope of work that they've done so far, and then just breaking it down and trying to put our best plan against that.
I believe that this defense is leading the league in limiting explosive plays of over 20 yards. I think y'all have only given up 6 so far through 4 games. I know that there's not one thing that correlates to that specific stat, but do you think that maybe that stat can correlate to an identity of a defensive unit?
I think it could be a part of it for sure. You definitely don't want to be on the defense that's giving up a lot of explosive plays. I think there are some plays under that 20-yard mark or whatever the cutoff is that we can get a lot better in, and that's kind of what we focus on, finding the things where we can get better and want to cut out some of those 6-7 yard chunks. You know what I'm saying? Something here and there, because at the end of the day, if you give up 6-7 on first down, and make the other calls easier for the coordinator going against us. So we just want to be better from anything that we can be better at, but at the end of the day, that is impressive, because you don't want to be a defense that's getting, the top taken off and stuff like that, and nobody likes that. So, that's definitely something we can continue to get better with as well.
Over these Thursday night games you've had in your career, is there anything you've learned in terms of recovery that's helped you, that you put into a routine?
You got to try your best, get your massages when you need it, tubs, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, when you go into Thursday games, it is a physical aspect to it, but I think it's more mental, because when the game time come, everybody out there on the same playing field, everybody done played Sunday before, you got to be ready to go. You know what I'm saying? And mentally, if you're thinking about, I haven't had the right amount of days, or I might not feel it, but if you got the mindset of whenever, wherever, however it got to go, then you be ready to play, So we all as players got a switch that we can flip and go into that mode, and your body ready to go to war, and that's what you got to do. You got to flip that switch, go to it, and know that, nobody has the physical recovery advantage over another team, which makes it a fair match. In all these games that we usually play are division opponents, so it's not a lot of travel for anybody. So it's an even playing field for the most part, and you got to play the game.
So is it almost like y'all are so much creatures of habits, and you're so in your routine that's the mental challenge of getting over that?
Yeah, I can definitely say like you said, creatures of habit for sure. And it's just one of them ones where your schedule's a little disrupted. Obviously, playing Sunday to Sunday versus Sunday to Thursday, but there's things put in place to where we'll be ready to go out there and perform.
And Matt Ryan is being inducted into the Ring of Honor. Do you have a favorite Matt Ryan story that you can tell on the record?
On the record, favorite Matt Ryan story? I think just being able to be his teammate, Matt was somebody that I watched, as a like what Matt got like when I was in middle school or something or high school sometime. But I watched Matt Ryan run the Falcons. You know what I'm saying? Then for me to play with him for years, and then go to the Super Bowl with him, see him win MVP, be able to develop a relationship with him outside of football, and watch him, family grow, stuff like that. I just truly admire, and I'm grateful that I got to spend time with him, and learn things from him. And a guy who just, no matter where it was good, bad, and different, his preparation was the same every week. You know what I'm saying? He demanded the most out of his teammates, and he took on a lot of hits, physically and whether it's with words and stuff like that, and showed up and did his thing every time. You know what I'm saying? Never complained. And I'm super excited for him, man. Nobody deserves it more than him. And he definitely one of the, if not the best quarterback for this organization, man. I'm grateful to say that I was his teammates for a lot of years.
How are things going preparing for the Bucs here on a short week?
Yeah, short week. Usually we're hanging out at home right now with the recovery. But just coming in, we slept in a little bit and having a first part of the day where it's first and second down, almost like a Wednesday type, and then we're breaking it up into, another part of our preparation this afternoon will be third down preparation and third down. So all that stuff just gets sped up. I think, you just don't practice. You just got to walk through it, and the sense of urgency, I think, kind of picks up a little bit more than a normal Tuesday. So just excited to go out there and play on another, prime time stage and another divisional game that we much need.
What are they doing well here? They got some pretty impressive Washington, Detroit, and Eagles victories.
Yeah, Baker's a really good quarterback. I played against him in Cleveland, for my first 4 years, and I always thought that he was just a really good quarterback. A lot of his situations in Cleveland didn't help him, but I just always thought highly of him. I always thought that he was a gamer. He's a Heisman winner for a reason. Sean McVay and those guys, they kind of got him back on track and, went to the Bucs, and he's done a really good job, getting those guys to the playoffs and, eliminating, turnovers and stuff like that and getting the ball to Mike Evans, I think is the thing that he's doing really well. He gets the ball out pretty fast as well, and that just goes to the credit of how smart he is and how much experience and, how much that really shows when playing against Baker Mayfield. So he's almost like a dual quarterback as well. He likes to use his feet a little bit more when got to have it, but I'm excited for the challenge.
And the two running backs, could you describe the rookie? He's got more yards than White.
Yeah. I thought number 7, he popped off the tape. He's just explosive. He's almost like their Bijan Robinson almost. He does a lot of the, RPO, moving around orbit motions and stuff. Like I said, I think that he's super dynamic with the ball in his hands. So just limiting him and making sure we can tackle him in space will be key.
Going back to what you were talking about Baker, I know that overall I think they're top 10 in passing as an offense. And I know people talk about Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and everything, but I think like in their first 5 plays against the Eagles, Baker hit 5 different guys in a row for like 40 some odd yards, and that kind of seems like who they really want to be. So what can you kind of say about their overall, I guess, like weapons that they do have beyond just the names that everybody knows? Yeah,
I think the other 2 young guys, I think the rookie that's from Washington, he's popped up off the tape a little bit as well, with Mike Evans always being the point of attack, kind of like the guy that's always getting the ball. I feel like they've started to split the ball out to a couple of their other, younger guys to see what they can do and make plays. So, it's just cool to see, I guess, the other guys getting the ball other than just Mike Evans. It's just something that we got to stop this week.
Because I imagine like that's the challenge for you guys. It's like you can't just completely look at Mike Evans. It's now a
Yeah, like I said, Baker, he's probably one of the top quarterbacks to getting the ball out fast, and whether that's to Mike Evans, whatever it is, he's super decisive on those decision makings, and I feel like that's why they've had success.
I believe that you guys are leading the league in limiting explosives of over 20 yards. I think y'all have only given up 6 in 4 games. I know there's not like one specific thing that goes along to limiting explosives, but do you think that this can be an identity stat to a certain extent? It's like, okay, we're limiting explosives and that's a part of who we are.
Yeah, that's what you said it right. That's who we are. We stop the run, and then when those pass downs come up, as DBs, we have a bunch of great leaders in there. Myself, Justin, AJ, and just having the understanding, even with Mike Hughes, just having the understanding of when is an explosive play is going to come. Any type of route concepts that's going to create an explosive. I feel like we have a really good idea of what that looks like, and being able to just communicate that in the meeting room, and then being able to translate it over to the field. Like you said, that is a stat that really correlates to if you're having a good defense, a good year on defense, or if you're not. And that's explosive plays in the run game and in the pass game. So it all works together.
You mentioned how fast he is able to get the ball out of his hands. I think on Sunday he averaged like 2.2 seconds or something from snap to getting the ball out of his hands, and they were only able to get him on the ground twice.
Yep.
How hard is it to get someone on the ground that gets the ball out of their hands so quickly?
Yeah, I think you anticipate the ball coming out now, so you kind of put your hands up, and then you kind of underestimate Baker. He's whatever he is, 5'10", big, heavier guy, and he can, like I said, he's a gamer, and he can really make plays on his feet as well. So yeah, it's just something that when you get Baker in the bottle, he's not just going to go down. You got to be able to wrap him up and tackle him like a running back. So, and then also, like you just said, with all the quick games that he does, he knows where the ball should go, and it just goes down to if your defense is going to tackle those guys in space, and I feel like we have the right guys to do so.
Throughout the Thursday night games you've played in your career, is there anything you've learned that you've adopted into your routine this week that helps with like recovery and all that?
Yeah, like you said, I think it just speeds up everything. It's like you enjoy the win, and then it's like Monday is like a Thursday almost, and then today's like a Friday essentially. So you try to keep as much as you can. Like today, it's supposed to be like a flex Friday day, so I'm gonna go in there and try to get some arms in and stuff, and try to keep the routine as normal as possible. And the mindset, obviously, is different on a day, obviously, but just mentally, just try to keep myself in that same routine in the couple days that we have to prepare.
Grady was saying that it's almost more mental than it is physical. Do you find that to kind of be the case too? Yeah,
I definitely do, because you can look at it either way. You got a short week, and then you got 10 days until you play another game. So it's like, all right, you buckle in. It's not like this was a surprise. It's been out. The schedule's been out. So being able to prepare your mind, like you said, mentally and just physically, do as much as you can to get your body feeling good. But mentally, you got to just know this is what, it's part of the NFL. You get once a year, you get Thursday night, and it's our time to go shine on prime time again.
You made mention of Mike Hughes earlier. I'm curious from your perspective, what has stood out to you about the way he's been playing in these first 4 games?
Yeah, I just think that Mike, he's just so versatile that he can, last year, he showed that he could play nickel. I think he only played nickel majority last year, and then this year you see him playing at a high level at corner. It's just, I think when you get a guy like that that can do multiple things, and I came in with Mike, so we're in the same draft class, and I love to see that his career just continues to go on the right trajectory, because I know who he is and what he's about. So yeah, Mike's a 7-year vet in this league. He was a starter in Minnesota, our rookie year. Like, he's a ball player, and I'm happy that he's able to go and show it and showcase what he can do, not just for himself, but for our team, make us better.
I was talking with Judon a couple of days ago, and he said something about how Mercedes-Benz Stadium is almost like the Lakers of the NFL, like just with like who comes to these games, and the excitement around it. Do you think that there's like a home field advantage in Mercedes-Benz Stadium when taking on divisional opponents like the Bucs?
100%. I feel like the city knows when we play a divisional game, it's a little bit different vibe. like Judon says, you get to see some of the, the entertainers, guys that represent Atlanta come out and support, our team. And if we want those guys to keep coming out, we got to win some football games in front of them as well. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I spent 5 years in Cincinnati, and the atmosphere is a complete opposite of, here in Atlanta, and I love it. And it's something that I think that we have to embrace, as a team, the culture and just, like, getting people out of here and, having guys fall out of the roof like Ludacris, on primetime games. Just those cool stuff like that's what makes this game really cool. And for our families that come and, watch the game, they get a whole concert as well. So it's pretty cool.
Just think about an interception last time y'all were on primetime. I'm wondering for you, just as a competitor, I know you always want to get takeaways, but do you have a little extra in you that I want to get one on primetime?
Yeah, anytime you can get a takeaway is big time, but when you got the whole world watching, yeah, you can, figure out some celebrations to do as a team, and maybe go viral or something. But yeah, it's pretty cool on primetime. Make some plays.
Like preparing for those celebrations, do you get with teammates?
Yeah, sometimes it's on the fly. Sometimes like some conversations in the locker room. But yeah, it's all about, the chemistry that we continue to build, and right now it's all handshakes and stuff, but we'll start, getting it together as a team and maybe start dancing or something together. So yeah.
Has there been any discussion about the penalties from last week from coaches or the 12 months of play?
Yeah. Coach Ra, he talked about in our team meeting today. Penalties are something that we can control. Usually, I think it lacks some type of concentration, some type of discipline, or you're tired or some type of fatigue. So just being able to figure out what those penalties are and lock in on them, make sure we don't get them, because we can't. After it happens, and whether you did it or you didn't do it, it was called and you got to fix it. So it's a huge conversation that Ra has said, and it's big. And you can keep guys on track. I think our offense, when they're on track, they're one of the best offenses in the league. So yeah.